Somebody's about to unfollow me after this video. Because I'm going to tell you exactly why that chain, those rented sneakers, that Cash App flex you posted last weekend, is the reason you are still dusty. Yeah, I said it. You've been out here buying loaded. Meanwhile, you're still breadless behind the scenes. And by the time this video's over, you're gonna understand why some guys look rich loaded from the outside and are one bad week away from empty pockets. Let's get into it. Let me paint you a picture. Meet Kelvin. Clean fit every single time. Chain so bright it's basically a flashlight. Every time he walks into the room, people go, "Yo, Kelvin's loaded." Everybody assumes he's eating good, but nobody knows. Kelvin's splitting rent 3 ways, his phone's on 8% with no charger in sight, and that chain? Financed. He's paying it off monthly to a guy who calls him every payday like clockwork. Here's the joke life plays on us. Looking loaded and being loaded are 2 completely different tax brackets. You can wear the crown all day, but if there's no empire behind it, you're just cosplaying rich at your own expense, literally. And the wild part? People clap for it. Yo, Kelvin's doing numbers. Meanwhile, Kelvin's doing mental math like, if I skip lunch today and tomorrow I can make it to Friday. That's the trap right there. Status gives you applause. It does not give you a bank balance. Quick gist before we move. Status is rented. Being loaded is owned. You can rent the look for 1 weekend and post like it's permanent. But Monday's coming. And Monday does not care about your captions. Okay, story time's not over. Let me show you how deep this goes. I used to be Kelvin. Don't judge me. Judge with me. I saved 3 months of paychecks. 3 months, the kind of sacrifice where I was eating instant ramen and calling it clean eating just to buy one specific pair of sneakers. White, crisp, the type where if dust even looked at it, it would apologize and back up. I wore those sneakers to an actual business meeting. Sitting there, legs crossed, sneakers glowing under the office lights, feeling like I was the main character. Then the guy across the table, older, plain watch shirt that looked like it survived 3 recessions, pulled out an actual proposal. Numbers, structure, a plan with more depth than my shoebox. He got the deal. I got a compliment on my kicks. Nice shoes, though. That was it. That was my return on investment. A compliment. I went home in those beautiful sneakers, dust already creeping in on the sides, literally and financially because I was still short on rent that month. That day I learned, people will compliment your shine and still pick the guy who's actually loaded every single time. Status gets you noticed. Being loaded gets you chosen. Small gist before we continue, stay with me. You can be the flashiest person in the room and still be the last person picked for anything that matters. Deals, partnerships, relationships. Because status answers, how do you look? Being loaded answers, what can you actually do? And nobody builds a future on how you look in a photo. But wait, I haven't told you the funniest part yet. You know who taught me the real lesson, though? Not Shoe Guy, my old landlord. This man, I swear, dressed like he raided a thrift store during a power outage. Same beat-up hoodie every single day, sandals that had seen things, held together by hope and duct tape. I used to look at him like, man, I hope things get better for him. Then one day, casually, dude mentions he owns 6 properties on that same block. 6. He was collecting rent checks from half the neighborhood, including 2 dudes in designer jackets who came to beg him for a 2-week extension. Meanwhile, these designer jacket guys are out here negotiating rent extensions with a man in duct-taped sandals. That's the plot twist of life, my friend. The most dusty-looking man in the story was the most loaded man in the story. And the guys who looked flyest were literally begging him. Status told you a story. Reality told you a different one, and reality always wins in the end. 3 gists, 3 lessons stacking on top of each other. Kelvin taught us status is rented, not owned. My sneakers taught us people compliment the shine, but choose the loaded guy. My landlord taught us real wealth often looks like the outfit you'd least expect. Starting to see the pattern? Good. Now let's land this plane. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear, but I'll say it here because you and I are past pretending. Buying status is buying a ticket to a show that ends the second the money runs out. The chain gets pawned, the rented car goes back to the dealership, the sneakers get dusty, literally and financially, because you spent the money that was supposed to multiply on something that could only ever depreciate. Dusty isn't about your sneakers. Dusty is what happens to anything that stops moving forward. And status, chasing it, buying it, performing it, keeps you standing still, posing for applause, while the actually loaded people are quietly building, investing, compounding. So here's my challenge to you, and I say this with love and zero filter. Stop buying the costume. Start building the empire. Because one day, someone's going to meet you in duct-taped sandals and realize you own 6 properties. And that, my friend, that's the glow-up dust could never touch. Now go build something, even if you're starting from empty pockets. I'll see you in the next one.